Well, I can't re-unbox them again, but I can still show them to you. Stick around. Okay, so there's nothing like issues when recording. So you record an entire video of unboxing a couple new things that just came in the mail a few minutes ago. You get done with the video, you pull it in to take a look at it, and then what? There's not a single sound on it. I've never had that happen before, where there's just no sound. The sound is gone. So I don't understand what happened, but here we are doing it again. Basically today I got two packages in. Now I knew what they were because you get the notification that things have been shipped to you. However, I never know exactly when to expect it because I was looking at these things that were mailed out earlier, and they're like, they're going to be here Monday. Okay, fine. But then they show up, so it's not always predictable. But hey, I'm happy. I'm off today, so have some time to sit at home and listen to some music. Well, of course, I'm always sitting at home because we're working from home right now, aren't we? Anyway, but I'm not working today, so gonna have some time to do this. So the first package came from Boone's Overstock. If you're not familiar with Boone's Overstock, they are one of the labels that, for the most part, deals just with Christian music, and they are one of the four labels part of the limited run vinyl releases, where they're releasing 1 to 200 copies of classic Christian releases from days gone by. So I knew what it was. I knew it was coming. It is part of the limited run vinyl, but it was one of the ones that kind of came in between, because what happens is the four labels tend to coincide, and they'll on a certain day, which was yesterday actually, they'll be announcing each one of them has 1 or 2 releases. So you really kind of got to hit your pocketbook hard on those days if you want to buy them all, because they are limited. This one was advertised a couple months ago. It was kind of out of the blue. It wasn't part of the big announcement. So I picked it, went ahead and got it, and here it is for the first time on vinyl. Deliverance's Learn. Now, not familiar with Deliverance. They started off as a speed thrash type metal band. They were kind of like the Christian equivalent, people would say, to a like Metallica, Testament type thing. Melodic, clean vocals, guitar riffing, heavy speed, stuff like that. So they were in that time frame in the late 80s. First couple, 2, 3 albums were in that vein. Fourth album, they kind of went kind of like Black Album with Metallica, where they kind of went more of just a not as much speed, but just a really, I love that album, just a stay of execution. Came out on vinyl a couple months ago, part of the limited run. And then after that, they kind of went into this phase, which was where things slowed down. They were still pretty heavy, but it was slower, wasn't as metallic. And it's great to see this one on vinyl. The one after this was released a couple years ago. They got even a little more experimenting on that sound. The one that followed that was a little more experimenting, and that one is in the works on vinyl, but not as part of this series, but actually from the band. Well, they may release that as part of the series for the vinyl. I'm not sure. I've heard all kinds of things. Anyway, Learn. It is on regular black. Now, what I did have to do, this is one of the limited run vinyl that comes in a picture sleeve, so it's not one of the ones that has the black polyline sleeve with the insert. It's got the lyrics and everything here, but these things tend to be so staticky and hard to get out that I turned around and inserted a polyline sleeve inside it. It fits perfect. I've done this for the past couple where they've had these type of setups, but great stuff. Got a picture. We got Jimmy and we got Ted Kirkpatrick from Tourniquet, and we've got Roger Martinez of Vengeance Rising. This looks like, oh boy, Angelica, Dennis Cameron maybe? I want to say maybe. And that looks like a young Michael Bloodgood, but I could be mistaken. I've seen this picture before, but I'm not 100% sure if I got those names right. Pretty sure that's who these are. But anyway, it could also be somebody from another band, but it does look like Michael Bloodgood with shades. Anyway, so I am looking forward to pulling this out and putting this on when I'm done with the video. The with Boone's Overstock, when they release these in the mail, the vinyl goes in the mail. They send you the audio track. So I did have the remastered audio track, so I have heard the remastered sound, but not on full speakers in vinyl glory. So the other package that I got was from Shadow King Records and Shadow Kingdom Records. And this was one that was shown. I don't think it was on a video. I saw it on Facebook where it was shown, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that was out yet. I went on Amazon. They said it was coming out in late May. So I said, hey, Scott, where'd you get this at? And somebody said, you can get it from Shadow Kingdom Records. So I ordered it. And that is the new Tyrant album. Tyrant is an 80s metal band. I kind of like the style of this type of 80s metal where it's got a lot of the reverb and it just sounds like classic, not overproduced metal. So I really, and at times kind of sludgy and doomy, but yet, you know, they weren't a doom metal band. They just had that guitar tone and just the 80s reverby vocal sound. It just was, that's the sound that just kind of makes me go, ooh, I like that. Anyway, so this is a new album. So they have been kind of active for years, but they originally put out like 3 albums, 2 in the 80s and one I think it was in the 90s, and then silence for a while. And so this is a comeback for the most part. Now the other 3 were released also in Shadow Kingdom, so they all have the same look, which is nice. It is a flat gatefold. It's got the lyrics, band pictures, and titles here. Oh, and inside the insert is a thick, glossy. It's got pictures on one side. It's got liner notes on both. So that has been consistent. Comes in a polyline sleeve, and it is a color. This is what they call yellow. What was it? It says it on the front. I just kind of call it golden. Fire burning gold with black smoke. Let's get all fancy. It is cool though. It is cool. Anyway, the stuff I've gotten, all of their previous albums on Shadow Kingdom have been, I thought, done very well. So I am looking forward to hearing this. I think I heard a clip on it on the website, but I have not heard it. Do not know what the new Tyrant is going to sound like. Now, while I was there at Shadow Kingdom, I noticed they had this. And actually, I noticed they had this. And then I went ahead and placed an order for this in Shadow and the Tyrant, because I had kind of thought, well, maybe I'll hold off. So the other day, I'm at home, listen to music, because working from home, I have all of my music on my computer, all the MP3s and everything. I can listen to records, I can listen to whatever, and all of my CDs and stuff there. Well, a handful of years ago, this particular band had released, or it was a bootleg, unofficial release overseas, 2 CDs of rare and demo type tracks. I bought them. I don't listen to them a lot, just because when you get those things, they just tend to be like harsh recordings, bootlegs, live stuff, and it's cool to have as a collector, but not always cool to listen to. Well, the other day I pulled these particular things up because I've been listening to more obscure stuff that I don't usually have access to at work. So I thought, I'm going to listen to this. It's been quite a few years, and I listened to both CDs worth, and I'm like, these are actually better quality than I recall, 10 years ago, whenever I bought them. So I started to get some more information, and Discogs showed them as being, unofficial releases, not for sale. But I typed in and found out that they had both been released on vinyl, somewhat official, High Roller Records. And so one of them was at Shadow Kingdom, and that is, we're talking Trouble, Doom Metal Masters. Demos and rarities. This is part 2, Victim of the Insane. Now, of course, the records don't have as many tracks as the CDs, but they have like the better tracks. I was trying to do a little comparison. I'm like, okay, they cut off some of the, live stuff and everything, but for the most part, it's on black vinyl. For the most part, they had all of the good. Well, like I said, they were fairly well done studio type demos. They weren't like really rough and raw. So definitely worth listening to. And it comes in a cool gatefold, high gloss, pictures of the band. If I put them right side up, cool pictures. Interesting cover. It would have been nice if they could have made it a double record set and put all the things in there. Got some inserts here. High Roller Records insert. And then one that's got the band, the logo. Some very small, hard to read lyrics. But anyway, yes, there is volume 1, and I had to order that from somewhere else because they didn't have it at this particular label. So I picked it up from somebody on Discogs. It is in the mail. Should be here soon. But I thought, I'd been looking for that. I noticed that it was on the Shadow Kingdom, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy it because it was actually cheaper than Discogs. I'm going to go ahead and buy it with the Tyrant album, and I grabbed that because I was going to wait for Tyrant because I'm expecting it's going to be carried by somebody else. But anyway, that's all for today. And now I've done it twice, and I don't ramble anymore. Thanks for watching. Rock on. Stay safe.